It's the most tremendous new musical experience you can have.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Logan, and I'm here bringing y'all this review to this newest Lil Durk project called Just 'Cause Y'all Waited 2. Now, Lil Durk, he is a trap artist that's pretty generic, if we're being totally honest. I'm not a big fan of him, although I did enjoy his album that this is the sequel to, Just 'Cause Y'all Waited, which came out in 2018. I did enjoy that one a little bit. I thought Public Housing, the intro to that, was a really good track, which explored a little bit more of an introspective side of him. And I thought he had some decent tracks on there that were bangers as well. Again, usually not a big fan of his, but I thought that was an okay album. So this one, I had mixed expectations, just knowing that most of his stuff isn't that great, but that one was okay. Maybe he'll follow suit with that. So let's get into this one. 15 tracks, 40 minutes. So a little bit longer than I would like for an album by Lil Durk, but let's see. So first, the pros. I enjoy how he explores different vibes like he did on the first one with some sadder, introspective tracks like on the intro, Different Meaning. And then also some more traditional trap as well, like on some of the tracks with features. Those are my main pros. And then the cons, his singing, whenever he breaks that out, not very good on this one. Like on the intro, Different Meaning. Funny how I have a pro and a con for that track. It was an alright track altogether, not really a standout like Public Housing was. So I'm going to go ahead and break down the features for this one. I think this will be a really short review, just FYI. I don't really have much to say about it. But here we go with the features. So first, Three-Headed Goat. First off, when you hear the term three-headed goat, you think, oh, it's going to be three really great artists. Considering one of those is Lil Durk, you already know that's not the case, but then you get Lil Baby and Polo G on it as well, and you're like, alright, yeah, that is not at all the correct term to use for this group of three. I hated Lil Baby on this. Y'all know my feelings on Lil Baby. I actually did not hate his album as much as I expected that came out earlier this year. Actually, ironically, on my birthday, I was blessed with my least favorite artist dropping an album. Yeah, it came out on my birthday. I digress. Anyways, his voice, very bad on here, Lil Baby I'm talking about. Just did not enjoy his verse at all. Durk was alright, he had a decent verse, fit the vibe. You're not expecting any crazy writing or lyricism on this, and you don't get that at all on this project. Polo was probably the best part, I'll give him that. He just had the best flow, best sound to fit the track, but again, nothing special. I guess this might not be a skip, especially if you enjoy these three artists. To me, I'd probably call it a skip just because Lil Baby's on it. I already don't like him, and this is one of the worst verses I've heard from him, in my opinion. So take that as you will. Next up, we have Gucci Gucci with Gunna. And this one's a pretty boring track. Both artists are just mediocre here, and considering that both artists are neither really all that great in the first place, hearing mediocre verses by them is very disappointing, especially when the beat doesn't really do anything either. So I'm not a fan of this track at all. I thought it was a hard skip. And that's pretty disappointing considering, Lil Durk and Gunna, you'd think that they could come together and put together an enjoyable track, one that could have some smooth vibes, some nice easy production with some smooth transitions and stuff like that. Maybe if they got it over some Metro Boomin production, it could have been pretty solid. But no, that is just pretty disappointing. And then the last track that has a feature would be Chirac Demons with G Herbo. And this one had a fun piano trap beat with some solid rapping. The voices got a little bit grating at some times, just a little bit rough, especially Herbo. But overall, this was probably one of my favorite tracks, if not my favorite track on the entire project. Again, just some solid production on here with them just rapping straight, flowing over the beat very well. Again, not getting any crazy lyricism or anything like that, but you're just getting what you would expect from a Lil Durk project with some better production on this track. So that was pretty enjoyable, I will say that. Now, as for most of the other tracks, his solo tracks with no features, generally pretty boring, nothing to stand out. Overall, this album was not as good as the first, Just 'Cause Y'all Waited. Again, I enjoy how it's not just a generic trap album where every song is just over the top and like, you know, like that Migos sound, which I enjoy. Migos, they kind of capitalize on that, but then have fallen off since then. Regardless, every song on here still sounds very similar. And I'm speaking now more so on his solo tracks, where he just kind of looks at his life in a sad, introspective way. And that can be fun at times, but considering that he's really not exploring it and breaking it down any further, or not really saying anything in ways that I have not heard better from better artists before over better production, that gets very boring and skippable. And then he saves the fun trap songs for the features, but again, those really don't even stand out that much other than Chirac Demons, which is pretty okay. He's just not interesting enough for me to pull all of this off very well. Again, considering that there are better artists who have pulled it off better. Again, see Young Thug, Future. And for a more realistic and more to the same level, I suppose, comparison, Trippie Redd. I wasn't that big of a fan of Trippie Redd's A Love Letter to You 4, but I found quite a few keeps off of that one at the very least. With some more fun, upbeat tracks like Death, and some more sadder tracks like Sickening. Can't remember off the top of my head any others, but I know I had a couple of keeps from that project. Abandoned, that's another one. This, nothing like that at all. So I'm not going to recommend checking this album out at all. I don't even have a song to recommend. If you are a Lil Durk fan, I would say, Chirac Demons, check that track out. But overall, this is not one of my favorite projects by him. Didn't really enjoy this one very much at all. Yeah, that's about all I have to say for this one, if I'm being totally honest. This is definitely not one of my favorite projects. If not, I'm going to say it is one of my least favorite projects of the year so far. Just very generic, very boring. And I'm going to go with a 3.5 out of 10 on this one. Again, not the worst thing I've heard. It's still better than NBA Youngboy. There is some smooth sounds throughout this thing that makes it to where you can get through it and just kind of turn your mind off and, maybe do some yard work, maybe do some working out, maybe play some video games and be okay with this project. But overall, no, this is a skip. This is I don't plan on listening to this. This is maybe I'll find one track that I enjoy type of album. So 3.5 out of 10, pretty fair. Could have gone lower. Definitely couldn't see it going any higher. And that's all I got to say on this one. If y'all enjoyed this video, hit the like button, comment, sub, hit the bell next to my name for notifications when I post next time. Make sure to share this video out to your friends. I appreciate y'all, and I will hit y'all up next time.